計測値より数段上のモンスターが出現する。
あ、じゃあここは C 級だから。
Yo, 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 it's your man MAS. Happy New Year, all right? Happy 2025. We starting off hot with Solo Leveling Season 2. This is 2, all right? They came back with another one, all right? And Season 2 started off crazy good, all right? But I mean, I feel like it's nothing really new in terms of you know what to expect. You know Sun is gonna wash the competition. Like you just know this, right? So I mean, my bigger question, like when watching season 2, episode 1, and probably just like episodes going forward, is like, all right, well, where does Sun rank in terms of other OP characters? Is Sun the trashiest OP character there is, right? Chances are no. I'm not gonna say he's the best OP character, because the thing with him is that he can constantly level up, right? So no matter what the situation is, if he survives, he can get better. That's just the premise of what I've watched. Again, I have not watched the manhwa, however you describe it. I have not read the manga. This is strictly off anime. Again, if you're new to my channel, very spoiler-ish, very we don't read over here-ish, all right? It's strictly anime opinions, all right? Anime topics. So in regards to just OP characters, because for the most part, you can watch episode 1, but you just know Sun is gonna win every battle. He just is. And if he loses and isn't dead, he's gonna come back and win the next battle. So I mean, that's Solo Leveling, and I just spoiled the entire thing for you, right? Guess what? Sun is gonna survive to season 3. That's it. Like that's the premise. That's it. All right. That's why I feel like Dan to Dan is the better show. It's less predictability, but I mean that's the anime formula. That's the shonen formula. Like the main character is always going to survive, because then there wouldn't be a story without a main character. But in regards to ranking OP characters, all right, the best of the best. All right. There's like I figure it on like Superman level. So like there's Goku is the Japanese Superman, so it's like, you know, like, hey, like Superman, and then there's like the Chinese Japanese version, that's Goku, right? And then there's Sun. I feel like Goku's a really high bar. Goku kind of like, he essentially kind of levels up too, right? He levels up in the battle. Goku constantly goes through these transformations. I haven't like kept up with Dragon Ball Z in a while, so I don't know if he's on like Super Saiyan 7. Like, I think the last one was Super Saiyan 4 or Ultra Instincts, but I don't think that's the Super Saiyan. I think that's a, like, listen, it's a lot of transformations, all right? So, does Sun wash Goku, all right? My opinion was no, Goku washes Sun. All right, I don't think Sun is quite there where it's like, yo, if Sun survives the fight, then yeah, I'll give it to Sun. But we're talking about like a one-on-one fight, no opportunities for rematch, is one and done. You know, like the Dragon Ball Z formula, the Dragon Ball Z tournament. It's like, yo, if you get out the ring, it's done, it's a wrap. All right, so one-on-one match, no rematch. I think Goku washes Sun. But does that mean that Sun can't potentially wash Goku? Yes, if there's a rematch, but just one-on-one, I don't think so. But I don't think that's really a bad ranking, right? There's like numerous like OP characters out there. There's numerous like abilities and things that can happen, right? I think Sun is the best when it comes to like just outright power, but also the ability to learn from like the fights and just get better. All right, I don't think there's like a lot of characters that can do that. There are a lot of characters that do that anyway in anime. We see it all the time. You watch an episode, the main character is losing the fight. They hit you with the flashback. All right, they hit you with the flashback of that character's struggles. Like, man, I remember I was getting it from the gutter, and you know what? I gotta, you know, help my sister feed my mama. I gotta level up right now. And then in the midst of the fight, they level up, right? So like Solo Leveling, just like they literally just were very black and white about it. Like, yo, we leveling up. Like, but that's what every anime does technically. They just kind of do it in the midst of the battle, and they don't call it a level up. They call it like an awakening I don't know, a transformation. Like there's so many different terminologies in anime, but that's essentially what it is, right? So, I mean, there are probably other OP characters I could think of, but it's kind of hard to, like, I feel like the bar is Goku, right? In terms of like OP characters, OP main characters. We're not talking about villains, we're not talking about all these other aspects. OP main characters, all right? And we can't even include Vegeta in that. If Goku watches Vegeta, Son is watching Vegeta, all right? If you guys want to make that a debate, we can do that. But if Vegeta can't watch Goku, like, let's do the math here, right? If Goku watches Vegeta and Son can potentially watch Goku, that means by default, like, Son is gonna like wipe the floor with Vegeta. And it hurts me to say that because Vegeta's that guy. Just when it comes to like the hierarchy of things, like we all know, man. Vegeta is like the second in command. Like he's never gonna be number one, unfortunately, right? I mean, other power dynamics. I mean, there's like One Punch Man, Saitama. Like maybe that can count. But I feel like that's more of a parody. I don't want to, like, in terms of like true anime debates, like who are the best main character, OP main characters, I don't think that's fair. One Punch Man is such like a trope where it's like, yeah, you can include Saitama in that. Saitama will essentially beat everybody, technically, but it's like, that's the trope, you get me? Like that's the trolling, that's the troll of it. It's like, I don't think there's any real competition or secrets to Saitama. Maybe there is in the manga. Again, we're not reading that. We're not going to read that deep into it to find out the true origins of Saitama's power in One Punch Man. All I need to know is apparently he wipes the floor with people with one punch, all right? Can he be Goku? Technically. Can he be Sung? Technically. You get me? Like, I don't even think that's a fair comparison. Just isn't, all right? But, so we're not even gonna put Saitama in that category, right? We could, but we're not. Just in terms of OP characters, Sun is in that tier, but I don't think he's the best, right? But as the season progresses, maybe I'll see more of Sun to make me believe, all right, he is the best of the OP main characters, right? But essentially he's like the top tier, you know, he's in that realm. It's almost like, yo, he has to be in the conversation at this point, but I can't say that he's number one in that, right? But I mean, just in general, like season 2 episode 1, I mean, I'm being fascinated by so many new things as I'm watching. Like, I didn't know there was a thing called Red Gates. I was like, oh snap, like that to me is what's gonna keep me watching the show. Like, it's not really the fights with Sun, because we all know Sun is like, I feel like that takes away from like the enjoyment, me knowing that Sun is essentially gonna win every battle. Like even the guy that came to revenge his brother, whatever, like I'm like, yo, Sun is gonna wash you. He might not wash you right away, but he's going to, right? So I'm more interested in the lore. And like when you watch these kind of shows, I'm more interested in the other characters, not so much the main character, because the other characters will help you get an idea of, all right, this is where people rank in the hierarchy, right? So in terms of Sun, he's like in the highest category. Maybe not like right now in that universe, but for the most part he's there, right? But you can kind of gauge the other characters, so the other hunters that were on that thing, and it's like, oh, okay, like, all right, there's like B's, there's A's, apparently A's can have super armor. But then the other thing about it is to like the red gates, like, oh, there's different hierarchies of gates, you know? I feel like that's gonna keep like the audience and people like coming back for more. So okay, like, so red gates are typically the most difficult. You can't escape from red gates. Like once you're in a red gate, you're stuck. And of course, if somebody actually breaks through a red gate, that what makes it even more impressive. Again, I feel like I said this in older videos, but limitations play a big part in a story, in a really good story. Some people really enjoy like the OP-ness, the brokenness. Me, no. I feel like most people are gonna get their, whether they believe it or not, that's fine. But most of your enjoyment is really gonna come from putting boundaries and putting limitations on the characters and the world. Because then when somebody actually breaks those boundaries and breaks those limitations, that's when you get, oh wow, because you've seen it firsthand, a red gate appeared and people aren't allowed to get in or out of a red gate. So if somebody's able to actually get in and out of the red gate, that is the intriguing aspect of it. That's the part that you gotta love, all right? So I'm gonna continue to watch for that lore. I feel like the lore is kind of like what I'm most piqued about. And of course, son, I can't help, like, I'm still like an anime fan at the end of the day. So of course, like, I know what's gonna happen. Doesn't mean that I'm not gonna watch it. I still enjoy it, so I'm gonna keep watching it, right? But, you know, it does take away from the whole I'm on the edge of my seat is. But hopefully that's not the case for you. But, you know, I mean, more Solo Leveling Season 2 videos to come. I don't even think I finished Season 1 videos. So I could just do that right now. Season 1, 10 out of 10. Easy, right? So we on to Season 2. That was in the past. That's 2024. We in 2025, all right? But yo, it's your man MAS, My Annoying Senpais. If you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe. And of course, I got my own anime/comic. I mean, we don't read, but we read my stuff. We read my shit, right? Please check it out in the comment below or in the, what do you call it, the description below. But yo, I'm out. Again, happy 2025.
どっちが
Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more solo leveling content. You know, your boy got the shape up, he's fresh. I know it's been a while, I've been roughing it out, but you know, I'm gonna be back. So, I mean, it's only a few episodes that came out in regards to solo leveling. So just in regards to concepts, right? We're not talking about the comic, we're not talking about the book. Strictly the anime. So people who have read the book, read the series, all right, like get out of this conversation, all right? You're gonna spoil it for people, but from what I can tell, right, the biggest flaw for solo leveling, like the drawback, and it's not a huge drawback because by all regular standards, in my opinion, it's not gonna sound great, but in regards to animes that are out there, active animes, mainly active new animes, solo leveling is essentially like the best, right? It may not be number one, all right, that's Dan to Dan, right? But it's essentially like top tier. Like you can't even debate it. Like story-wise, combat-wise, it doesn't hit all genres, but the biggest flaw for solo leveling is what I believe is like the concept of the hunters. And they introduced something in the last episode in regards to, which is cool, I'm gonna give her props for that. There are international hunters, meaning hunters are not only restricted to Korea. Go figure, like, trust me, if you watch enough anime, you'll notice, like, why does it seem like the majority of the strongest characters, the main characters essentially, are just kind of centered in this one area, one region, quote unquote Japan, right? And then everywhere else is trash. Like America doesn't have Nujitsu or, Reapers in terms of Bleach. Like they're not in Europe. Like it's very like, anime tends to be one dimensional, but it makes sense because you only kind of talk about the country that you're from, right? But that's a bigger conversation in terms of, all right, well, I'm making this in Japan, so a lot of my content is going to be focused on Japan. Or I'm making this in Solo Leveling's case, I'm making this in Korea, so a lot of this is going to be based upon Korean culture. So by default, the best hunters are going to be in Korea. Because that's where I live and we the best. Even though we know they're not the best, right? And that's not even me trying to shit on Koreans or Japanese people. Like the Olympics tell you you're not the best. Like if there's a better gauge of why you're not the best, it should be the Olympics, right? That should be the most welcoming of all the cultures, whoever wants to participate. If you think you're the best, let's see you rank in the Olympics, essentially, right? So let's translate this to hunters, all right? Do I believe the best hunters are in Korea? By solo leveling standards, yeah, but I think that's a flaw because if they're trying to broaden the horizons, which in the last episode they did, right? In terms of like, when they introduced like America, and I was like, oh snap, like, so there are hunters in other countries and other parts of the world. It's not just, like it's not just Korea, right? And they do that in a lot of anime. So I'm like, yo, like there's no way the best guilds, the best hunters are just like, there's no way, if we're talking about realistically, right? But again, the argument is their story. Whoever, created Solo Leveling is their story. So if that's how they want to do the story, that's fine. But if we're trying to be realistic, you can't say the best hunters are in Korea. The best like athletes aren't even in Korea by Olympic standards. Like, just keeping the same thing with Japan and Blue Lock. Like it's just, in terms of Japan and soccer, it's not a thing. It's not a thing, right? But by their standards, it's the best, which is fine. It's fine. Just saying, the biggest flaw is that technically there should be other hunters that are stronger than Sun. There should be other hunters that are stronger than some of the main hunters in Korea, because the world is so much bigger than Korea, right? There's probably some hunters that should be, stronger in North Korea, right? We don't talk about North Korea, but that should be a thing. So they just need to broaden that a bit more, and maybe they do. Maybe they do later in the anime via the book. Maybe that gets explained a little bit more, right? But I'm just saying, in terms of, like, again, the best gauge for that is like the Olympics, right? I don't watch the Olympics that often, so I don't know who often takes it. But like, Americans, I don't think we kill it like in the bench press or, like certain categories that like other countries are just better at, right? So that's how I feel. I feel like I do know this. Women's American soccer in the Olympics be crushing it, right? So that's another thing, right? You can kind of have that be a gauge. You could try to make your story realistic to kind of fit the rest of the world. But granted, it's an anime, so it's not really supposed to be realistic, but if you're trying to. So I'm so immersed in the world of Solo Leveling, like, as I continue to watch it, it's like so fascinating. Like, how many things introduce, like the Red Gate, hunters from other countries, the guilds, how Sun continues to try to level up. Like, they're introducing so many aspects. I'm like, all right, like, they really broaden the show as they continue to go on. But I'm just like, there's no way, because I'm at a certain point while I'm watching, I'm just like, all right, like, all the strongest hunters just seem to be in this area. Like, there's no way there's another hunter that's stronger, but it was so dope that they introduced that. And of course, they also introduced, I think that's Sun's father. I'm not sure. He kind of insinuated that it was. And then it just reminded me of a whole Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha kind of thing, where it's like, if you watch Inuyasha, if you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, main characters who were supposedly average, right? These main characters are supposedly average, maybe above average, but then you find out, even probably Bleach and Ichigo, like, you find out, like, oh no, they come from, their family's actually the shit. You didn't know, but as you continue to watch the story, like in like the later arcs, like Yusuke's father was actually a big deal. Like Inuyasha's father was actually a big deal. Ichigo's family and father's actually a big deal. Like, so I'm like, at first I was giving some props. I mean, he still deserves his props. I'm like, like, Sun got it from the mud, right? He wasn't privileged. He got it from the mud and he leveled up. But come to find out, his father, or if that is his father, like, oh no, he came from a little bit of privilege. He came from a little bit of talent. He's not just like some talentless average Joe, right? Sun's father, Sun's father, like, so I'm like with the chin, like that's his father, like, and then the dude that's trying to get to Sun, I don't know. They're probably going to give more context in this episode. So I don't know what happened with the fight between, I'm going to butcher his name, but the dude that's trying to avenge his relative and then Sun's father. But it looks like Sun's father washed him. I'm going to put it out there. It's probably going to spoil it, like, in the future. Like, maybe he does wash Sun. But, like, if you can't beat his father, you're not going to beat Sun. Like, the dude is mad cocky. Rightfully so. Right, these hunters and their ranks. That's kind of how it is, like in America too. Like, the more money you have, the more you can brag. So like these hunters, oh, I'm S class, so I'm a like bro, calm down. You can't even beat his papa. You're not beating Sun. And by all extents and purposes, Sun should be stronger than his father. That's just how it should go. Like my son, you know, should hopefully be stronger than me. We're not gonna give it like the Dragon Ball Z complex, right? Like the Dragon Ball Z complex where Gohan was supposed to go that route. Yes, I'm gonna go on the rant. Gohan was supposed to go that route, but then Goku just kind of overturned. Like the creator of Dragon Ball was just like, Goku was just so popular that he just switched gears. It was like, nah, fuck Gohan. Goku's gonna keep living like, so it's not gonna be that situation where the son is technically eventually always supposed to surpass the father. So no Dragon Ball Z complex, all right? So son, for all intents and purposes, is supposed to surpass his father. If that is his father, we don't know. We need a DNA test. We do not know, right? But if the dude can't even beat son's father, he definitely not beating son. But he could brag and bark all he wants, right? But that was an interesting tidbit, but he would then come from that lineage of Yusuke, Inuyasha, Ichigo, where it's like, oh, like you think they're average or slightly above average, but it turns out like they actually come from a very talented, overpowered family. So that could be a thing. Maybe it's not, but I mean, I feel like that takes away a little bit in regards to Son, whereas like, yo, I really viewed him as like a true underdog, whereas like, yo, he didn't come from talent. A good example, Guts didn't come from talent, and he turned out to be a beast. So I thought Son was kind of in that category, not trying to compare him to Guts, but like, yo, he got it from the mud. But maybe there's a possibility he may not have got it from the mud. That is a possibility. But just in regards to flaws, Son and all those hunters that you see in that area tend to, from what you can tell just watching the anime just off rip, they just tend to be the strongest ones in general. Right? I have not seen another hunter from other countries that have stood up and it's like, oh, like, you know, I'm the shit. Like, I have not seen it. But again, it makes sense because it's their series, it's their story. So you only kind of create what you know. But it seemed like they were trying to deviate from that when they introduced, oh, there are hunters from other countries, which I thought was so cool, like so legit. And then I'm just like, okay, like if they're going to introduce that, they have to introduce some overpowered hunters from other areas of the world, because there are. And unfortunately, if you're trying to go that route and be realistic, you kind of have to shit on your own country, technically, right? I could be honest, I live in America. Like, Americans aren't the shit, like in terms of the rest of the world. Like, we're not number one, right? That's just the truth of the matter. We excel in some things, but we're not like the end all be all. But it's the same thing with Korea. So it has to be the same thing with solo leveling. They can't be the best hunters. Koreans, Japanese, they can't be the best hunters by default, all right? But again, it's not my story. So I'll just be curious to see if they introduce some overpowered hunters in other countries, and if any of them can give Son a run for his money. But chances are they probably can't, because the show's about him, so he's always gonna win. but that's the take. I'm loving Solo Leveling Season 2 so far. Again, if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear your comments. And I recently dropped a video in regards to a podcast I did in regards to Citizen Evil. Please check that out as well. But it's your man MAS. I'm out. I'll have more Solo Leveling content for you guys soon. Peace. Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more content. All right, this time around we're doing something a little bit different. All right, we're talking about top 5 best animes to watch in this current generation. All right, if you're an anime lover, we already know about the generations of the Narutos, the Bleaches, right? And then there's the My Hero Academias, a couple popular ones now too that like Demon Slayer, like I feel like that generation has already kind of passed, right? So if you're kind of tired of that same old dancing routine, essentially, right? You've watched enough anime, you've seen enough stuff, you want to like just get right to it, right? You want what are the best animes to watch that gives me that Yu Hakusho feeling, that Cowboy Bebop feeling. Like, what is the next generation past Demon Slayer? Because I'm saying it, Jujutsu Kaisen, whatever you want to call it, that saga's already passed, right? So in terms of animes right now, I mean, what are the top 5 that you need to watch, right? starting off right now with number 5, Solo Leveling. All right, so Solo Leveling, it's not anything special in terms of like the shonen aspect to it, overpowered character, things of that nature. The thing that makes Solo Leveling a bit different compared to most shonens is the fact that the world itself is a bit more complex compared to other shonens, right? So there's more emphasis on the lore, more emphasis on the hunters themselves, more emphasis on these gates. Like, it still has all the typical shonen aspects, but I feel like the lore of the world and the gates and all that on its own kind of helps the anime stand out to be like pretty much the best anime of this generation, right? Like if you're talking about like the next generation up, it's pretty much Solo Leveling, all right? And we're not talking about the books, all right? I know the books have been out, we're talking about strictly the new animes that are coming out, right? Solo Leveling is pretty much top tier. Like if you want to watch that shonen feeling, but you know, something different from what you've seen before, watch Solo Leveling, right? That's number 5, ironically enough. There's 4 more slots, right? Number 4, Villain Saga, all right? Maybe Villain Saga shouldn't be on this list, but I still consider Villain Saga a fairly new anime, right? It's on season 2, but Villain Saga to me is the closest thing to a Berserk, all right? If you discredit season 2, right? We're not talking about Farmland Saga, but yeah, Villain Saga is damn good. If you watch season 1, you know why Villain Saga is. So I promise you, once season 3 comes out, everybody's gonna be right back on Villain Saga's you know what. So Villain Saga is that damn good. The only thing I can do to describe it to people is that if you want the closest kind of anime feeling to a Berserk kind of nasty, gutsy fights, people that, you know, they bout that life, they don't care, it's Vinland Saga, right? But maybe not season 2, but I'll leave it from there. Number 3, all right, this one is like what I see has the like most potential. It's Hell's Paradise, all right? So Hell's Paradise is not what I initially thought, but as I continue to watch Hell's Paradise, I'm like, yo, this story is a lot more complex and a lot more convoluted than I gave it credit for. And it got me hooked by like, I guess like halfway, really hooked. The story is really, really good. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's the most diverse story, most innovative story I've seen in a really long time in terms of anime, like hands down. Hell's Paradise is very different from the norm. Because of that, I have to give it like the number 3 spot. Like Hell's Paradise is definitely different. I think Hell's Paradise is better than Vinland Saga. I think Hell's Paradise is better than Solo Leveling. Those are good shows too. I'm just saying in terms of like animes that are pushing the envelope, Hell's Paradise is there. But then again, like I said, Hell's Paradise, Solo Leveling, Vinland Saga, like these are all animes that I feel like if you want something different from the norm, like hey, these are the next anime up that you need to watch those 3 anime, right? Number 2, I mean, I don't really think it's a secret, but I gotta mention it because I think it's damn good too. Frieren. So Frieren is number 2. Same thing as Hell's Paradise. Very different kind of anime. Not overly action, not overly like dialogue. Like Frieren, and that's the thing that I believe sets Frieren apart from all the other animes listed on the series. Like Frieren, like Hell's Paradise, it just does something very, very different. Something that you've never seen before. Hell's Paradise, like in the first beginning episodes, you kind of get the feeling, all right, overpowered character, nobody can stop him. Like you kind of get that feeling, and then they kind of shift gears later down towards Hell's Paradise, right? But Frieren kind of do that too, but they do it in the most unique storytelling way that, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to give you guys tidbits without spoiling it. I'm not going to tell you this now. I just encourage you to watch it itself, like watch the show itself. But Frieren is pretty much the most balanced anime compared to all the other animes on the list that I've talked about, right? Frieren kind of hits all the categories. maybe not as much in the romance aspect, but it still kind of does. They're just very indirect about it. They be beating around the bush. But Frieren kind of covers everything. Other shows, Solo Leveling doesn't cover everything. I think I had an argument about Solo Leveling and this next anime that I deem has #1 on the list, but like Solo Leveling doesn't cover every kind of genre. It's not like the most balanced. Like Solo Leveling is more action, is not as much romance, right? Frieren is more balanced than Solo Leveling. Frieren is more balanced than Hell's Paradise. Frieren is more balanced than Vinland Saga. I mean, that's just the truth in terms of like, hey, if you want to watch a show that like just hits so many check marks for you, Frieren is that. Like, let's just keep it 1,000, right? And then #1 on my list, I never thought this anime would be #1 in terms of animes that you need to watch in this generation. Like, it is Dan to Dan, all right? So Dan to Dan is #1. Only 12 episodes, but it managed to capture so many people's attention, including myself. I compare Dan to Dan to a Fooly Cooly meets Yu Hakusho had a birth child, and that's Dan to Dan, right? So Dan to Dan is that next generation anime that like, hey, if you want that feeling again, which a lot of us do, a lot of us hard anime watchers want that feeling, Dan to Dan can deliver, right? Definitely looking forward to season 2. But I mean, besides just Dan to Dan, all the animes on the list can deliver that feeling. Like I said, Dan to Dan just covers pretty much everything in a very entertaining way. Then, what you call it? Like I said, Vinland Saga is like if you want that closest thing to Berserk. Solo Leveling, if you want that closest thing to just shonen in general. Like every anime on this like top 5 list kind of covers everything that you're looking for, right? So again, if you're thinking about like the next anime up, right? There's a whole bunch of animes that are still really good. Again, not taking anything away from Reincarnated has the slime, and you know, My Hero, and all these shows that Jujutsu Kaisen, like, but like what is the next animes up, right? Who are the next juggernauts you need to watch for? I feel like their time has already passed. My Hero's time has already passed. These 5 animes I've listed, they are fairly new, came out within like the last, well, if you're kind of like Vinland Saga came out like a while ago, but they're still fairly new. So as they keep coming out with new seasons, you're gonna watch as people's heads start to like turn, right? When the new season of Vinland Saga comes out, when the, like Solo Leveling already came out and it's already like, it's peak already, right? So I mean, there's Solo Leveling, when Solo Leveling, like this season's already crazy. When Vinland Saga next season comes out, it's gonna be crazy. When Hell's Paradise next season comes out, the way it ended last season with Hell's Paradise, oh my goodness. Like it blew, I was like, no way, right? Frieren, I got so many questions I need answered. And then Dan to Dan, they left it in a really weird place. I'm like, yo, how you gonna end this? Like, I need to know. But in terms of top 5 anime in this generation, those are the 5 you need to watch. If you guys feel differently, please let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your man MAS. I'm out.
モンスターも恐怖を感じるのか。やっとその答えが分かったよ。
It's your man MAS, back with more Solo Leveling Season 2. Alright, Solo Leveling has been amazing so far. If you've seen the title, you already know this is about to be a shit show of a video, alright? It's getting repetitive. I mean, so is the case with most anime, you know? But this is particular for this kind of genre, right? So the genre being overpowered characters, right? That's the genre, that's the thing, right? We're not talking about the comic, the book, the manhwa, or whatever you want to call it, right? We're not talking about that. This is strictly the anime. So people who know about Solo Leveling far into the future, this isn't the video. We're not spoiling it for anybody, all right? This is strictly the anime. For what I've seen in the anime, shit getting boring, all right? Shit getting boring. And right now, my expectation is the next new episode that comes out, that needs to be the turning point, all right? So if you've been watching Solo Leveling, at least the anime, and you haven't read the books, and you've watched enough anime, because again, this is coming from the preface of someone who's watched enough anime. If you watch enough anime, you've seen it all when it comes to overpowered characters. I don't think it's anything new. Everybody knows about it. So Solo Leveling just, it gives you that feeling again. I feel like Solo Leveling is really good at giving you that overpowered feeling again. It's not like other shows where the character just out the gate, strong, ripping through everybody. No, Solo Leveling does it the right way, all right? Where like he's overpowered, but like it's a nice sense of progression. You get to know the other characters, you get to know the world. Like Solo Leveling does an excellent job at world building. The issue now is they're reaching that, I don't know, that fork in the road where it's like, all right, a lot of it is just getting repetitive. Meaning, the first few situations, it was exciting, right? Sun, everybody knows Sun is that guy. He is that guy, but the world doesn't know it, right? So he's entering these dungeons, has like an E rank hunter, and with other high ranked hunters like B rank hunters or whatever, and you know, he's saving the day from these high level magical beasts, right? That's been the pattern the last few episodes, minus the whole him coming out, you know, coming out the closet, right? Coming out in terms of like, oh, I'm actually S ranked. So besides that, the pattern of the episode, that's what I'm saying, is getting kind of boring. If you know, you know that the pattern has been Sun goes into a dungeon, has an E rank with other slightly higher ranked hunters, encounters really powerful magical beast, or the gate is a level higher than everybody expected. People start to freak out, people start to die, right? And Sun is like, all right, kind of, I won't say Superman, but it's like, take off the cape. It's all right. I can't let these people die. I've been through this. I'm not gonna let these other people die. Like how they did me back in the day. Yeah, they did him dirty back in the day. Season 1, they did that man dirty. He's like, yo, I'm not gonna let that happen to y'all. Smacks up the magical beast. That's the episode. Everybody gets impressed. That's the episode. That's been the episode, or that's been the pattern for episodes like the last few ones that came out, right? And it's exciting. No, like I can't front. Like they do it so well that like it's engaging, but now it's kind of like come on, like I don't know, maybe it's becoming a little bit less exciting because he came out has an S ranked. So like that reveal, cause I feel like a lot of people underestimate the thing that really gauges the audience, the viewer. The thing that gauges you is the mystery, right? So the thing that really gauges you that you might not be aware of is the fact that people don't know he's an S rank. So when he goes into these situations, you're more engaged in terms of what are people's response going to be, right? What are the other S or A rank hunters' response going to be, right? A lot of times, especially like with Korean dramas, because I do watch a lot of Korean dramas as well, they're self-aware, so they do that on purpose, meaning like they know that's what everybody's waiting for, so they don't really reveal it until like the season's damn near over, of like, you know, maybe like the finale episodes, you know, when that show's kind of reaching the end, so they start to reveal a lot of secrets, or it's like, oh yeah, I've been an S-rank this whole time. Like Korean dramas do a lot of that towards like the tail end, right? Solo Leveling, I'm assuming there's like a lot more content. So the fact that he kind of revealed it so soon, like, one, is great, it's refreshing, right? It's like, all right, like, great, he's out, everybody's aware, right? Like, that's, you don't want too much mystery, right? But at the same time, it kind of takes away from the suspense, because it's like, all right, well, everybody knows he's S rank, everybody knows he's overpowered, the other S and A rank hunters know who he is, so then what's the point? Like, we know that whoever he fights, he's gonna thrash. The only assumption I could think about, again with the turning point, is that he's going to be coming across maybe more powerful characters that can give him a run for his money. That's the only assumption I could think. Because if not, I really have had to be honest, like I'm going to start ranking Solo Leveling not that high if they don't change the pattern. I'm going to give Solo Leveling credit. Like, it's been such a good show. I feel like they know what they're doing. So I feel like there is going to be a turning point. I feel like they've done a really good job at progression, right? To the point where it's like they gave you that feeling of, oh, nobody knows that I'm S rank. Everybody finds out, they're surprised, they're relieved, they're in awe, right? They do a really good job at that progression. So now I'm assuming they're going to go to the next point of progression. They almost have to, because if they keep doing that now, especially because everybody knows he's an S rank now, it's like it's no secret anymore. Like, it's going to get boring. I've seen that enough so far in Solo Leveling. I've seen enough where it's like, yeah, he's going into, like, everybody knows he's S rank. So I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think he's going to dungeons anymore as like a pretend E rank, right? Like, I feel like everybody knows he's S rank, so everybody's going to be treating him differently. Like, it kind of takes away from, oh wow, I'm looking forward to that reaction. People know already. So now what's going to happen with Sun? The only thing I can conclude is that stronger opponents are going to start coming. And if they don't, I'm not gonna lie, Solo Leveling, I might have to knock it down a couple pegs on my tier list. Like, in terms of the best anime of this generation, right? Not the previous generation. I feel like the previous generation was more like Demon Slayer and animes like that, right? This is the next generation, right? I put Solo Leveling there. I'm gonna look like a hypocrite. I'm gonna look like crap if Solo Leveling doesn't live up to the hype, which I feel like so far it has done, right? Solo Leveling is in my top 5 best new anime of this generation. But I haven't seen the rest of the story and I haven't read the books. So the assumption is the story has to get better. If the story does not get better, then I might have to knock Solo Leveling down a couple pegs. But I mean, that's the gist of it. If you're honest with yourselves, right? Like, it's becoming a little bit of a pattern, right? Sun going into these dungeons, hiding his power, reveals his power, everybody's in awe. Like, I don't think that's a recipe that hasn't been seen. You see it in pretty much any isekai that's, you know, the overpowered main character is really hiding his abilities. You see it all the time. The difference with those shows and Solo Leveling is Solo Leveling does a really good job of progression. And again, the essence is him leveling up. He can constantly like level up. So that's what makes it unique, right? I just feel like it's just really boring right now. It is. It's really boring right now. Maybe the next episode is going to be like a really telling turning point. I feel like it has to be. Because if it's not, like, if I watch this next new episode and it's the same nonsense that I've seen the last previous episodes, especially when everybody knows, maybe not everybody in the world knows he's an S rank, but like, I feel like the majority of people in that town, in that area, knows he's an S rank. So I don't even think he can go into dungeons as an E rank. He can't. But like, if it's still the same thing of him pretending to be a low class person now, right? Him pretending to be low class, and it's like, oh, it's another powerful magical beast that's not really powerful because Sun's gonna wash him. And then Sun saves the day. And if that's gonna be the next few extra episodes, like, I really don't want to watch that. I'd be like 1,000. Like, I don't want to watch that. Like, I've seen enough of that. They've done a great job with progression. I've seen enough of those episodes. Now it needs to be some actual challengers, right? Now it has to be like maybe some S-rank hunters that challenge him. The dude that was looking for him, that I think Sun washed his brother. Like, I need to see more of a push in the story. And I feel confident. I don't want to take Solo Leveling out of my top 5. I feel confident Solo Leveling will rise to the occasion, right? But right now, if another episode that comes out is that pattern, it's trash. Solo Leveling will be knocked down a couple packs. But I have confidence that they won't do that. I mean, but we'll wait to see, all right? So I'm looking forward to the next episode. Solo Leveling has not disappointed, all right? I'm just saying, as I saw that last episode, I was like, okay. It's like a little bit, like, it was the same thing with the I think the white elf or whatever you call that, the snow elf, and it was the same thing with the orc. So I'm just like, yo, like, this is starting to become a pattern that like is really engaging at first, but now it's like, okay, I need to see. I mean, that's just human nature. We need to see more. So I need to see more. And if they can't provide more, if they're going to be doing the same pattern, which a lot of shows fall into that trap, right? I don't think Solo Leveling will, but a lot of shows fall into the trap of like, oh, well, this works, so let's just keep doing it. And then that's what stops your show from being great, because you don't evolve. You have to evolve the character. You have to evolve the level of challenge. And I think it will rise to the occasion, right? But again, it's your man MAS. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear your comments about it. If you feel like it's going to get better, if you also feel like me, it's getting repetitive, please let me know. And of course, I have my own comic, manga, anime, whatever you want to call it. Link in the description, right? But I'm out. Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more solo leveling content. All right. Last video, solo leveling is getting kind of boring. This video, it's still the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm telling you, my sentiments have not changed. All right. All the real ones know. If you're really into storytelling, you can tell solo leveling is just. Season 2 is not as entertaining as Season 1. Season 2 started off really, really good. And again, this is just the anime, not the books, not seeing far into the future, strictly the anime, right? If you're into really good storytelling, Season 2 started off really strong, and then it got really repetitive, all right? And then the people who kind of I don't know, I won't say talking crap in the comments, but there's a difference between repetitive and good, all right? You can't tell me somebody using the same plot. Sun goes into dungeon, hides his identity, other hunters are there, they're in despair, Sun goes to save the day. It's the same thing per dungeon. It's nothing new. That's why it's boring, all right? There are animes that are not like that. There are animes who are from beginning to end can gauge your interest. All right, Hunter x Hunter is one of them. Hunter x Hunter is really good at gauging your interest all the way through. All right, I haven't seen the last arc, but Hunter x Hunter is there's overpowered characters, but they do a really good job of kind of putting them in check with other characters. Solo leveling is not like that, but rightfully so. Solo leveling, he's supposed to be the most powerful dude because he can keep growing, right? All because I'm saying this does not mean that solo leveling is not the best shonen out there. To me, solo leveling is the best in regards to next gen shonen, right? If you look at all the popular animes right now in terms of the shonen action genre, solo leveling is the best hands down. It's not even a debate, right? I think I had a conversation with some of my anime friends. It was if Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, Demon Slayer, all these other shows, if they came out at the same time, as Solo Leveling came out, Solo Leveling will wash them. That's how good Solo Leveling is. But all because Solo Leveling is a damn good show. It's top 5 best shows right now, in my opinion, hands down, doesn't mean that it's exempt from criticism. All right, this is an anime review channel. We have to analyze and review the anime. That being said, that's the truth, right? Salute to Sun. I mean, he saved his mama from the eternal crisis of eternal sleep or some crap. He saved his mama. He got his mama a brand new house, essentially. Saved her, beat the dungeon. He's accomplishing all his goals. Unfortunately, that doesn't make for really good storytelling. It doesn't. I mean, it does if you slice of life, meaning hey, you a really chill show where the character accomplishes all their goals, right? But that's not what human beings are attracted to. Human beings are attracted to the bad boys, the bad gals, all right? We're attracted to drama, all right? If Sun is succeeding, it's not that entertaining. It becomes redundant. It becomes boring. It becomes repetitive, right? We're engaged when everything doesn't go according to plan and the person has to improvise. And granted, the main character still might win, but it's not we could predict it. It's not they strive to do it. You get me? There's a level of adversity, a comeback story. That's what human beings are attracted to. That being said, the last 2 episodes, not the entire season 2, just the last 2 episodes have not been that. The last 2 episodes have been Sun accomplishing all of his goals with pretty much all ease. Even the one battle with the Baron, the of the Demon Castle, and like I'm just listening, like because I do listen to you guys' comments, but I'm just like, all right. So one, did you actually think he was going to lose that battle? Two, there's only one point in that battle that he actually looked stressed, and then it wasn't even like stress. He was just like, all right, well, I'm going to put all my attributes into strength, and then he did it, and then he won. It didn't seem complicated. It didn't have me on the edge of my seat. Like there are animes that have done that. Even like the old school animes like Naruto and things of that nature. Like they can do things in a way that like put you on the edge of your seat because you don't know. That battle, like if you're keeping it 1,000 with yourself, that battle with the Baron, it did not put you on the edge of your seat. It didn't. Like you knew he was gonna win, and it was just about like how much they were gonna make him struggle a little bit. He didn't really struggle that much. He didn't. And keeping it real, he didn't. Like the only saving grace in terms of like it not being boring to me, and I was kind of going to title the video this, but like, is Japan versus Korea. They're doing like an exhibition match or whatever. Like to me, that's the saving grace of like, all right, like this is going to get more interesting now. Because before it was kind of like, it was like all because it's boring doesn't mean that it's bad. And it's only like animes go through this. So put it like this, right? The most I can say about Solo Leveling is that it's not an anime that captures your attention from start to finish. It's not. It does have down periods, but that is okay. There's nothing wrong with animes having down periods. Most animes do. There are some animes that just do not have down periods. Fullmetal Alchemist never had a down period. Like there are animes that can capture your attention. It's such a thrill that it captures your attention from episode 1 to episode 20 or 50 or 100. Like it keeps you glued. Solo Leveling does that. The issue now is that there's some cracks in this armor where like the last 2 episodes, not then only the last 2 episodes, been kind of slow, kind of predictable, kind of redundant. How many other skills is Sun gonna like? It's we know this already. Like we want to see something new. I don't want to see Sun accomplishing all his goals. Maybe that makes me a hater. I just need to. Everybody likes a good comeback story. I need to see some struggle. I need to see him fight somebody that actually gives him a run for his money. That'll probably never happen, and I'm okay with that probably never happening. But like, there needs to be some motivation. Maybe that's like it needs to be some motivation. All right, and I'm hoping this exhibition match is the fire that puts the fire under Sun's ass that like motivates him, because you could tell even like him watching the match, he's like that last episode, he's like, okay, like you could tell like he already saved his mom, and that was like his main goal. You get me? And the fact that he accomplished his main goal, it's like, all right, well, you know, I could keep leveling up, or I could just chill. Like he has so many options now that like it's just not as engaging. Like the most engaging situations, and you know this again if you watch enough anime, is like the ones where the main characters don't really have a lot of options, right? It's either kill or be killed. It's either win or you're out. It's either, you know, Goku beats the tournament or the whole universe is destroyed. Like there's not a lot of options. Right now, Sun has a lot of options. All right, he's a hunter, but he doesn't have to be a hunter. Like he did it for a purpose. And that's the thing I fucked with the show. Like he did it for a purpose. He did it to save his mama and to make something of himself. He has enough money. He saved his mama. Pretty sure he can get his sister through school. I'm pretty sure if he wants to continue being a hunter and leveling up further, he can. He has way too many options, and that doesn't make for, in my opinion, for like the most amazing storytelling. But again, I'm sure more content is gonna come. I'm pretty sure the thing that's gonna like really pull me back in is the Japan versus Korea exhibition match. All right, I'm excited to see that. I'm pretty sure Sun is gonna be motivated. Sun is probably gonna be the best person on either team. What I would really be surprised at is if there was somebody on either team, particularly Japan, that was stronger than Sun and actually gave him a run for his money and motivated him to like, I have a goal that I want to level up further to be able to beat that guy. That would be amazing. All right, that should be the direction that they go in. But again, it's not my show. It's not my series. I'm just giving my input and reviewing Solo Leveling in an unbiased way. All right, so relax, my Solo Leveling fanboys and fangirls. All right, all because I'm criticizing the show does not mean that it's still not. It's still top 5. Like, no matter what I say, and my honest opinion, it's still the top 5 best anime right now. Right now, I feel like it beats some of the older best shonen right now. To me, I think it's damn better than JJK. And nothing against Jujutsu Kaisen, I just feel like Jujutsu Kaisen's mid. And Solo Leveling is just so much, it's so much better in other aspects. But I have to be fair across the board. And Solo Leveling did have some down episodes where they weren't bad episodes, they just weren't entertaining. And unfortunately, a lot of that is because of a lot of the same story elements that they've already used in other episodes. The beginning of season 2 had me glued to my seats. Like, there's so many elements of, I call it the Superman effect, where it's like nobody knows he's OP, but then last minute he shows himself to be OP because he's saving the day. The Superman effect, right? Like, that was really good. But I mean, come on. I mean, maybe some people can watch that continuously. Maybe I'm not giving you guys enough credit. Maybe you guys can watch that morning, day, and night. All right. I can't do it. Like, if I see that episode 1 and they do it for like 20 episodes straight, I mean, it's boring. Like, all right, I know what's gonna happen, and that's my point of view. I know what's gonna happen, so I'm hoping that I will not know what's gonna happen in the next few episodes. But yeah, Solo Leveling is still top tier. I'm looking forward to the next coming episodes. Hopefully there is a shift where Sun is more motivated, or there's somebody actually giving him a run for his money, and it's not as redundant. But again, it's your man MAS. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And again, I got my own manga, anime series, whatever you want to call it. Link in the description. Please check me out. I criticize and review a bunch of animes. Feel free to criticize my shit. All right. But yeah, I'm out.
返せる
Yo, it's your man MAS, back with more Solo Leveling. All right, it's over. All right, if you want recommendations, all right, recommendations in terms of like tips, like the comment section. All right, do not read your comment section. You could read comments, but like the comment section was filling my head with these things, and then I went down a rabbit hole, and I kind of spoiled it for myself. Like, I didn't spoil the entire series, but in terms of like, I viewed Solo Leveling very highly, right? And it was like, all right, like, this show is going to get better. Like, it's not going to be repetitive. It's not just going to be Sun wiping the floor with everybody. Like, I was hopeful. Like, Solo Leveling was that damn good of an anime. And I'm like, yo, they're going to break out of this cycle that I feel like it's getting into. And then I read the comments, and then they was like, nah. And then they were like, this is Solo Leveling. Like, it don't change. And maybe that person was wrong. Like, maybe I shouldn't read into it. But if this is what Solo Leveling is going to be like throughout the series, like, and like just Sun wiping the floor everybody, like, it's over. Congrats to Solo Leveling for surpassing One Piece, but it's a wrap. Like, I'll still watch the show, so I'm not gonna be like that, like oh, I'm not gonna watch the show. I'm gonna watch the show, but like, I better not hear no arguments about Solo Leveling being the best anime ever, being the best story ever, being the best protagonist ever, like being the best villains. Like, nah. Solo Leveling would just be one of those animes, and that's okay. That is okay. But we cannot have the argument, if it continues in this manner, if the story doesn't progress, that Solo Leveling is in the Raptors. No. Like, even Jujutsu Kaisen, as much as I call that show mid, it has a semblance of a story. Solo Leveling and Jujutsu Kaisen is not really repetitive, but Solo Leveling is getting really repetitive. The best I can describe it is the Superman complex. There's a reason why DC is shit. Yes, I'm saying it. For people who are kind of baffled, Marvel is up here, right? Marvel is flamé mignon, or like the top cuisine, and DC is like burger and fries, right? Like DC is down here, Marvel's here. Feel free to argue with me, but the only people that have been holding DC for ages is Superman and Batman. Solo Leveling is getting to that realm. Why? Because they're making the entire show about Sun. There's no way you could tell me. I gotta go on these rants. There's no way you could tell me. There are these S-class hunters. We're talking about S-class. What does it mean? Like, what does S-class mean anymore? I don't, tell me. Like, what does it mean anymore? So I feel like they're just making S-class hunters seem like a joke. Like the last episode, this seemed like a joke. Like, what's the point of the title? Why give them that title if they're this bad? Like you can't tell me that Sun just hard carries the entire show. There's no other really intriguing characters. Like, hopefully in the future, but that's pretty much DC. That's Batman and Superman. Like, they made a character so overpowered in terms of Superman that like there's rarely anything that can even hurt him. At a certain point, Superman got boring. It was still the flagship show of DC, but like that's why DC's fine. Versus Marvel, they do a really good job at highlighting a lot of characters. It's not just one OP character. Everybody loves Wolverine, but everybody knows in terms of the ranking, Wolverine is not the most powerful mutant in the Marvel universe. Like, they do a good job of highlighting all the characters. That's why Marvel is succeeding while DC is flopping. It's just Batman and Superman. There's the Flash, there's Green Lantern, there's Aquaman, but they don't really highlight those characters like that. They don't. It's just Batman and Superman. It's just Sun. Any other competition is like mute. It's like a mute point. And it's going down that path. You want to know why? As much as I'm like, shonen is not like my favorite genre ever, but the reason why certain shonens are so popular and do so well is because they don't make the whole show about one OP character. There are OP characters in One Piece. There are OP characters in Naruto. There are OP characters in Bleach. There are OP characters in these series. There are OP characters in My Hero, right? The issue is they don't make the entire series about this one OP character that washes the floor with everybody, right? Like, the reason why these shows are so great is because there is a semblance of a story. Like, I think somebody in my comment section, again, do you want to go down a rabbit hole? It's like, yo, if you don't watch Solo Leveling if you want a story, like, just don't even bother. Like, Solo Leveling is not that show. And here's the thing, I respect the comments, but like, it's so depressing because like I had such high hopes for Solo Leveling, like, and I'm not reading too much into the comments, where I'm like, I really do feel like it's gonna get better. It's gonna be like a turning point where it's like, okay, this is different. It gains my interest. It's not repetitive. But like, if the comments like, yo, Solo Leveling is not that show. Ain't got no story. I'm like, yo, that is so depressing. That is so depressing. Like, it feels like it's pretty much over, right? Naruto has a story. It has other characters that help build up the story really well. Same thing with Bleach. Same thing with One Piece. Like Solo Leveling just did a really bad job in these last few episodes. Like, Solo Leveling Season 1, that's why I'm like, Solo Leveling Season 1 felt so much better than Solo Leveling Season 2. Why? Because Solo Leveling Season 1, it felt like they highlighted a bunch of things, and it didn't seem like one thing was overly overpowered than the other, right? Solo Leveling Season 2, again, I do not know. It's like giving somebody the title, right? So I'm like the chief executive of operations, right? It's like I get this really dope title, but it don't mean shit. I'm the chief executive of operations. It sounds dope as hell, right? I'm an S-rank hunter. It sounds dope as hell, right? Don't do like, yo, come on. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me these are S-rank hunters and they're getting washed like this. Like, just call them like B or A. Like they have to do a better job at the disparity of like levels. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like, I'm at a loss for words. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. I think I made a previous video about like B-class hunters just being that bad, but like here's the thing. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe Solo Leveling is just really bad at power systems, like coming up with a power system that seems really balanced, or it could be kind of skewed, but still has a semblance of being balanced, right? Every show's not like that. There's some shows that have a very skewed one-sided power system, and there are other shows that are really balanced, right? So maybe Solo Leveling is still a good show, but they're just really doing a bad job with their power system. Or maybe season 2 just jumped the gun and is like, Sun is God tier and everybody else is like, I just don't even see the point of an S class. They look like B class hunters. They look bad. Even Japan, they look bad. They look bad. Like, why am I given this title and I actually don't know how to, like, I can't meet the quota? Like, here's the thing. The episode, Sun even said it. It's a group of S-class hunters. Sun was like, they don't need me because it's a group of S-class hunters. Apparently that don't mean nothing. They still getting watched like they F-class hunters. Like, yo, like somebody, if this is Solo Leveling, the rest of the entirety of the comic manga model, like the anime, like that's DC. I'm not into it. I'm into stories and like highlighting other characters that may not be as powerful as Sun, but can at least be like on par and can hold their own. Like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, they all do it. They all have characters that might not be the OP, but like they can hold their own and they're pretty strong in their own right, right? I'm not into what I'm seeing, all right? And if you're enjoying Solo Leveling, cool, like you're into that. Just I'm telling you, it's just not. It cannot be in that conversation anymore of the greatest anime of all times in the Raptors. Like, you cannot tell me Solo Leveling is the greatest thing since sliced bread after what I've seen the last few episodes. It was in that conversation personally, like in terms of new anime, that I'm like, yo, like it's up there. But these last few episodes, I'm like, yo, it's going bad really fast. And I feel like it's pretty much over. But that's me reading into the comments. I feel like it's pretty much over. Like, if this is what to expect from Solo Leveling just moving forward, you know, I'll watch for entertainment purposes, but like, and for content purposes, but I mean, like, what's the point if I know what's gonna happen every episode? That like, whatever hunter is doing something, it's just gonna be like underwhelming, and then someone's gonna come and save the day. That is Superman. I'm good on Superman. I want more Marvel content, all right? But I mean, that's my 2 cents. Feel free to post in the comments what your opinion is. Hopefully I don't go down another rabbit hole. Hopefully somebody gives me some positivity, like, hey, it gets better. There is more context. There are more stronger characters that are on par. Hopefully it gets better. But right now, the shit is over. It's over, and it feels like a suck. And still gonna watch it, but it can't be the greatest anime of all time anymore. It can't, right? But it's your man MAS. I'm out.